Dear Disney, stop it. Today on the show. Good morning, Scallywags. Happy Thursday to you.
Glad to have you back.
Yes. Today we are calling this an open letter to the Disney Corporation.
Now, before you get started, we're not asking them to change anything drastically. We're just saying you've done enough.
Yeah. Star Wars is... I can't even call it a favorite franchise. If this is my favorite movie, then Star Wars is up around the cosmos.
Star Wars is that like golden apple.
Star Wars is in
very,
a galaxy
very top.
far, far away compared to that.
I love Star Wars. We grew up on Star Wars.
Now, having said that, now I would even go as far as to say I even enjoy the prequels. I see it all as one big thing.
If you look
it's
at
one
it that
giant
way,
movie that has a bit of a slow start, but it gets better. And I read an interview with George Lucas years ago where he was talking about how the prequel trilogy, especially the first one, he actually compared it to a cartoon, so that you would have something to compare, like the brightest times in the galaxy. So you would come from this all the way down to say Empire Strikes Back, or so on and so forth. So I get it. Having said that, when is it too much?
I mean, now we're getting... Okay.
We've got 7, 8...
We got 7, 8, 9. We know that's happening.
We also get an anthology.
We get anthologies every year.
Every other year. So
we got Rogue One. Mm-hmm. This year we're getting Solo. Next year we're getting
Kenobi.
Kenobi, or we're getting Boba Fett movie.
So there's a number that are already slated.
Another trilogy.
Yes. Now Rian Johnson is getting his own trilogy, and now they've even come out and said that the Game of Thrones guys are getting their own trilogy.
So that's going to make 6 additional movies.
So that is another 12 Star Wars movies. One per year,
so that takes
at least,
us through
every year.
2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 2032 right now. They've got movies out there for. This is what we mean by enough is enough.
Oversaturation. I mean, when you get to the reason why we were so overjoyously excited about this new trilogy coming out, and even the anthologies that they had planned at the time, was because we've waited 20 years.
Yeah, 20
years from episode 3 to now, but now we're getting them every year for the next 20 years. So
it's you're gonna milk the cow dry, Disney.
Yeah,
there's got to be a little bit of time here to cleanse our palate. Stop producing these movies.
Anticipation has to build. It has to build. I
really have no anticipation for another set of trilogies. Caveat, unless it's Old Republic.
Yes. Now that is one thing. It's kind of the buzz is kind of going around that the game, and even though nothing has been announced, it's all just people kind of hoping, but that the Game of Thrones guys will be tackling the Old Republic. So like Revan and stuff like that. Now, if that ends up being the case, I'm on board. I am all for that. Beyond that, I'm starting to get to a point where I don't care.
I mean, what are we going to start talking about? We're going to start talking about Rey and Finn.
Well, and they flat out said that the new trilogies, plural, will have nothing to do with the Skywalker lineage.
But the whole movie was built around the Skywalker lineage.
Or was it?
George Lucas has always said he never did something without meaning to do it.
Well, and there was a time where it was said if you watch the original trilogy, or the Orig-Tridge, that you would see, it's the story of Luke Skywalker. If you watch 1 through 6, you would see it's the story of Anakin Skywalker. But if you watched 1 through 12, you would see that it was, or 1 through 9, that it was actually the story of R2-D2. which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because he's in everything.
The one constant.
Yep.
But all of that aside, all of that completely regardless, they could be the best films ever made. But
I have no palate cleanser.
Marvel is a perfect example. Also Disney.
Yes.
We're getting 2, 3 Marvel movies a year now, and I'm burned out. I've gone on.
Some of them are great. Look at what's going on with the Black Panther right now.
Yeah.
Number 1 movie in the world, but that's fine. So then you take that movie, and now we've got Infinity War.
It's too much, too often, and I've gotten to a point. Now I am looking forward to Infinity War, but I mean I've said this even on the show multiple times where I've stopped caring.
Well, we've been looking forward to Infinity War for 10 years now.
Yeah. I mean, from the very first moment that Thanos showed up on the screen, I mean, I knew where this was headed, and I was excited about it.
But that's what we're talking about, Disney, is, guys,
it's too
slow
much.
down. Too much is too much. Too much of a good thing makes you sick of the product, makes you sick of the food. You know, everybody can go out, and I love Taco Bell. I love it. I'm going to eat it every day. Well, after about the 4th or 5th day, you're like, oh my no.
I can't look at another taco.
I can't look at another taco.
Well, I could never get to that point, but
oh, trust me, we can get you to that point.
Try.
But the point of the fact is if you're going to keep putting out all these rapid fire products when there's nothing in between. I mean, not only that, you have 5 monthly comics that fill in gaps. So if you want to keep up with the entire Star Wars universe, you got to watch all the movies. You got to watch Clone Wars. You got to watch Rebels. You got to watch Tic-Tac-Toe.
Yeah, and it's getting to a point where since they're all canon and connected, I mean, they wiped the slate clean as far as canon goes and started over. So now everything that comes out is canon. So that means, you know, if you want to know who Snoke is, you got to go read a novel trilogy, watch 2 with, they said, I think there's like 4 or no, 9 new series that are getting ready to come out, TV shows connected to Star Wars. 9. Seriously,
this is just one of those things where
I love Star Wars. Okay, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I have always been a huge Star Wars fan. But in order to have anticipation and excitement, the anticipation has to grow. You can't just slap the name Star Wars on something and expect everyone to go nuts over it. Again, like I said, they could be the best movies ever made, and yes, I will see them all eventually.
Yeah,
but like, I mean, it's just getting to a point where, I mean, if you give us something every single year,
there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a break, take a little break, 5-6 years, and then you go.
Even a couple years.
Hey,
I mean, now that is the one good thing that they've done, where we're like, 7, 8, 9 every other year. I'm fine with that.
The main course, if you want to keep with the food analogies, the main course is the one tied to the original trilogy.
But
they're putting that on
episode
every
9,
other,
that's over.
Yeah. So what are we going to get? A main trilogy story every year? No. I have nothing right now. Nothing other than I want to see what's going on with Solo before he found his way to Mos Eisley to watch this movie. It's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to. Some things, Disney, you need to let us
now
just be.
No, I mean, now there are a few things that they can do that. I mean, we don't know where these new trilogies and things are going to go. We don't even know. We know that there is a Kenobi movie in the works. We know that there was a Boba Fett movie in the works, but that it was canceled. So, I mean, beyond Episode 9 and beyond the Kenobi movie that is in the planning stages,
pre-production,
we don't know where any of these are going to go. We don't know if they're going to involve Jedi at all. We don't know if it's going to be Old Republic, New Republic, somewhere way off in the, not so long ago in a galaxy far, far away. A long time ago in a galaxy a little bit closer than the other one was.
Maybe next door. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't.
A long time ago right here on Earth.
But we don't have any anticipation if you're going to do this.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, it's all speculation at this point. And even saying that it's oversaturation, even that is speculating. I mean, it's entirely possible. Let's say, one trilogy is about the Old Republic, which, again, I'm totally down for that, especially if it's the Revan story. One could be strictly about bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Boba Fett, but just bounty hunters in general. The game that was going to come out, what was it called? Like 2087 or something. I don't know. It's a number. But it was all about the underbelly of Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a
the dark side,
a
of Coruscant,
smuggler / bounty hunter story, to where you get to see all kind of the dark side. The concepts for it looked amazing,
and then they canceled it.
I mean, it was practically done. I mean, the graphics were phenomenal. You can actually see clips of it on YouTube and stuff. And I mean, it looked fantastic, and I was so looking forward to that game. And then along comes Disney, and the whole thing gets shut down.
I tell you, the movie that I would like to see,
But something like that. I mean, now, so if you're, you've got your anthologies to remind us of the original trilogy.
Yep.
Then you've got this series that's taking place way back in the past. You've got this series that's taking place in a a subsection of Star Wars that we've never seen before. Okay, sure. There's ways to make it interesting and make it not, overflow with just too much of the same thing. There's ways to do it, but I'm afraid. I'm genuinely afraid that it's too much. It's too much too fast.
I keep using the term palate cleanser.
Yeah.
We need something different. We need something radically different at this point. Like I said, I would be totally down for an Old Republic.
That's my hope.
That's my hope.
What they've got planned.
There's a movie out there that I would love to see that is no longer canon in the series, but needs to be Shadows of the Empire.
Oh God, yeah.
That has nothing to do with Luke, Han, anybody. Dash Rendar.
Well, I mean, it had ties.
It had ties, but it was
Several ties.
about
They were
Dash
in there.
Rendar.
Yeah.
Or what about the clone games that we got for the Wii and for the PlayStation 4? Where the clone of what's his name? Star Killer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not Dash.
But we could tell.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
We could tell stories
Yeah.
about that. Not really
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Not really tied, other than very loosely, to the main.
Sam
main
Witwer
three.
is still very much included with voiceover work and stuff with Star Wars. So yeah, I would totally be down for that. I love those games. Absolutely love those games. And it fit right in there with like Rogue One and stuff.
No,
so,
totally would fit in there with like Rogue One.
I mean, it all led up right to the beginning of New Hope. So, yeah,
Totally
bring it in, but it's no longer canon.
But it's not canon, and that's wrong. See, Disney, that's now in Disney's. What are they calling it? The Legacy Universe.
Yeah, but that is one thing that Disney is doing that I agree. I'm glad for is that they're taking some of the like fan popular, some of the fan favorite stuff from the Legends, and bringing them back, like Thrawn, for example.
Yeah.
They brought Thrawn back. Little things here and there, and so. In Rebels, they flat name dropped Revan, so we know Revan is still canon. So do that, and I'm cool at least.
And
with,
in Rebels,
with that
we also got
particular
Darth
storyline.
Sidious. Yoda went after Darth Sidious. That was
Darth Sidious was the Emperor.
Was he the Emperor?
Yeah,
He was
who are you talking
Palpatine.
about? Yeah,
Not
you're
Darth
talking about
Sidious.
Plagueis?
No, yes, Darth
Darth
Plagueis.
Bane?
Darth
Darth,
Plagueis and Darth Bane.
which Plagueis,
Way before.
which Plagueis was mentioned in Episode 3 for that matter, but he was Sidious's master. But so I mean, yes, there's ways to do it and make it interesting as long as the movies that are coming out aren't, if they are drastically different from one another, then it's better at least somewhat. But still, it's just bottom line, guys. I mean, we're kind of rambling at this point, but bottom line, please, dear God, Disney, please listen when I say you're taking what is the favorite franchise of millions and millions and millions of people, and you're tearing it apart. I mean, you've already angered people with Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I mean, Last Jedi especially, you have made some decisions that, I mean...
You made some decisions that one of your key actors didn't agree with.
Yeah, when you got Mark Hamill going out there bashing the movie while it's still being made, it's like, dude, you can be fired. You realize didn't care. I mean, he has been very vocal about how unhappy. I mean, a quote from Mark Hamill is, I think it was, I forget if he said, I hate or I disagree with. I think he basically said, I hate every decision that he's come up with. Or every idea that he's come up with.
Because, I mean, I 100% honest, I didn't feel like that was the Luke Skywalker.
Well,
that I
Mark
grew up
Hamill
with.
flat out started the whole hashtag, not my Luke.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, it's amazing the decisions that are being made because all these movies are now profit driven. I mean, there's not that franchise is no longer being made for the love of the movie.
I'm going to go ahead and aggravate some people here when I say the following, but it's 100% true that this new trilogy and even some of the, I mean, even Rogue One for that matter, is instead of making it about the original characters, or well, basically that. I mean, Leia's had more screen time than anybody at this point, but
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate that she won't be in episode 9. But you make your main characters a female. And an African American. You've got Rose with I believe she's Asian.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the cast of Rogue One, where you have a Latino person and Asian people. I mean, it's like it almost, and this is gonna sound so horrible, but it's not meant to be. Where there was always kind of a running joke, for lack of a better term, about the original trilogy, where Lando was the only black guy in space, that Leia and Mon Mothma were the only women in space, and where they used to kind of refer to the Empire as this man's empire, because it was all just white guys
running around. Yeah.
And it's like now, almost like they're trying to make white men the minority, which, if you want to have a racially diverse cast, great. That's
good,
great.
Great job.
I'm totally fine with that, because yes, that is something that the original trilogy was very much lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But don't do it just for the sake of doing it.
Do it for a reason.
I mean, cast somebody because they're right for the part.
Yes.
Not because their ethnicity is something other than Caucasian.
Yeah, not that because we need X amount of people at X amount of ethnicity.
Well, we have to
meet our requirements.
Because, and this is 100%. I mean, you can look this information up, that this was a deciding factor behind this. Rogue One, the reason why there were several Asian characters in there was to gain a bigger audience in China.
Yep.
That's not my opinion.
That is
that is a documented thing.
Because Star Wars typically has not gone over very well in China.
Right. Especially after episode 1.
Yes.
There was a lot of anger about that. They felt that the Neimoidians were a racial stereotype, which, let's face it, they were. Absolutely. But, and again, I do not have any kind of problems with racial diversity in there. I'm simply saying, don't do that just to get a bigger audience, because then the movie becomes about making money instead of telling a story. And the important thing,
100% agree.
And that's what makes the original trilogy so magical, is because even though it is the classic warrior's tale with the wise sage and the scoundrel and the princess, it took a cheesy concept and an outdated and stereotypical concept, and it still told a story that was acted and told beautifully enough within that cheesy concept that it has become one of the most iconic, legendary movies of all time.
Well, come on. I mean, if you've seen our other things, our other products, trailer riffs, we actually get to go off and, oh, look, it's another Star Wars rip.
Yeah. But I mean, that is why the original trilogy is looked upon as so great even to this day, because I mean, nothing had been done like that before.
Yeah, the miniatures, the special effects,
and it's not just the special. I mean, yes, the special effects were a huge part of it as well, but just from a storytelling
point, yeah.
Take any one of those characters, and you genuinely care about that character. You had just as many kids dressing up as Princess Leia and Han Solo as you did people dressing up like Luke or Darth Vader or anybody from those movies. Every character was someone that was a deep enough character that you legitimately cared about the character, to where now it's just another movie that just happens to be taking place in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a character. I'm not as, I'll be honest with you, I'm not as invested with Rey or Finn.
They spent so much time building up this whole who is Rey, who is Snoke, which they just tossed out the window.
Yeah, I mean, they just killed him in the last...
But they did it just so they could have a mythos. They wanted another I am your father moment. Why? It's not important.
It doesn't make me any more invested in the characters. So, Disney, transition away from the money, transition back to the story.
And do less of it.
Yes.
Please. So, Anyway, we've rambled on for long enough.
We can honestly ramble about this for the next few hours, and we can touch off on how Disney does it with everything that they do. I mean, the Pixar movies, the
actually
Marvel
Pixar's
movies.
probably the one aspect that they don't, because I mean, Pixar movie tends to come out.
Pixar just makes you cry.
Pixar tends to come out. A Pixar movie tends to come out every 2-3 years.
Or hey, we wait 10 years like we did with The Incredibles.
14 years, and so here's your PS to my letter to my letter to Disney here. Incredibles 2. We waited 14 years to get the same story.
Right.
Thanks.
All you did was flip the roles.
Oh, so we go back to not being superheroes again, and one of them decides to stay a superhero again, and the kids are still
Yeah, kids are
made
still kids.
The same movie. Backwards. It does pick up immediately after, yes.
Which is fine, but it's
So
still telling
which
us
makes
that-
it make even less makes it make even less sense. So we finally come together as a family and we're gonna be superheroes.
Now I have a baby.
No, never mind.
They always had a baby. Jack was in the first
Jack was in the first.
Jack was in the first one.
He was with the babysitter the whole time.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, that's gonna be that's that. What's your opinion? What do you think about? Are we getting too much Star Wars? Are they tearing Star Wars apart too much? Are they changing too many things? Or
Are you happy with the way
are
it
you
is?
happy with it? Do you want more of it? Put your comments down below. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. While you're at Facebook, make sure you check us out about one of these. Just send us a private message on our Facebook page letting us know what size you need and what colors you would like. So that's color of the shirt and color of the text. Yeah, there's $20 for the short sleeve, $22 for the long, or $25 for one of our fabulous hoodies.
No hoodies. And you're here on the YouTube. So guys, continue to do those YouTubes. The most important thing you need to do on YouTube involves this little thing. This is called a mouse. It allows you to go over that little subscribe button and go, oh, I subscribe to the Scallywag page.
I mean, literally,
You
if
just
you can
click.
if you can do that,
If you can do
right
that,
there.
you can subscribe.
one motion of the finger and you have subscribed.
You can like, you can comment, and you can share the wonderful news, the gospel of the show. Plus, you can hit that little bell icon so you know immediately.
You're the first to know as soon as we upload,
When we
which is
upload
every Monday through Friday
Friday.
and Sunday.
Well, if it's something, maybe Saturdays, if we feel like it.
Yeah. We got specials.
So, guys,
Yeah.
thanks for another wonderful Thursday,
Yeah.
allowing us to rant.
Yeah, and we're gonna get back to doing our challenges tomorrow. So join us for that. We'll see you then.
Go.
Hi, my name is Mealy Brady from Ozark, Missouri, and here's your Russian clip of the day.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and if you liked what you see, go ahead and click on our faces to go ahead and subscribe to get all of our Monday through Friday stuff.
Indeed, and here's a couple of links down below that you can follow to watch more shows like it. Tons of great content right here at Scallywag Productions. We'll see you tomorrow.